Getaway.
See, now that's it. And when a guy put more to it than I put to there, he ain't playing the blues. Well, he could be playing the blues, but he's playing something else with it.
Well, Bill, this particular song that you wrote, Making My Getaway, this is sort of a double meaning kind of song, isn't
it? Yes, it's a lot of time people would, in those days when we would sing those songs like that, we'd maybe be 25 or 30 of us working in one place, and I'd say maybe crying in the morning or one of them. I'd use that because I woke up, maybe I didn't feel good, or maybe I was mistreated, or I didn't get correct pay or something else, and I'd sing crying in the morning. One of those things. Another guy down the road further, he'd wake up and he'd start singing about he's mistreated, his woman done him wrong or something, and on down the line. Maybe 25 of us sing that same song.
Now, it seems to be a love song outwardly. In reality, you might call it an Underground Railway song of 1954. Well, Pete, back to the banjo and back to the richness of folk music in America today. Now and then you come across an item that speaks of Elizabethan English still being spoken in some quarters of America today, despite television. Is that still true?
Oh, I suppose Queen Elizabeth would kind of be surprised if she heard us talking here. But I do believe that you travel around, it doesn't matter what part of the country, you'll find more of the old than you find of the new in many places. Now, just because it's old, it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Mm-hmm. But right in a city like Chicago, think of all the millions of people there are and the millions of different kinds of people there are. Well, it's the same way if you travel from here to New York and you didn't take the big highways, went off on the little dirt roads, you'll find a lot of people who live in pretty much the same way. Maybe, sure, they drive a car and they got a radio now. But an awful lot of these old songs are still being sung, a lot of old music. And when I say, you can have a good old song and a bad old song, but when they speak of Elizabethan, I suppose they mean kind of old-fashioned language. Mm-hmm. Man down in West Virginia said to a friend of mine, says, "You must come over to my place. We have a princely mountain," he says.
That's beautiful. I'm glad that language is still being spoken. I'm thinking of specifically, Pete, of some of the beautiful songs that you've sung. For example, I'm sure that is still sung in some of the mountain country, so-called here. Something like John Riley or Come All Ye Fair and Tender Maidens. And there's something beautiful about the language. It seems seemingly archaic and not spoken in the big cities today, and yet is quite beautiful. You want to give us sort of an example of one of those tender songs that's still being sung in which the language, the purity of the language is still preserved?
Well, here's one. I learned this from old Bascom Lunsford. I think you play his records sometimes, don't you?
And we'll talk about him after.
Lady Margaret sitting in a high hall door, combing along yeller hair. She saw sweet William and his new-made bride riding from the church so near. Well, she throwed down her ivory comb, she throwed back her long yeller hair, said, "I'll go down to bid him farewell and never more go there." It was all lately in the night, when they were fast asleep. Little Margaret appeared all dressed in white, standing at their bed feet. "Well, how do you like your pillow?" says she. "How do you like your sheet? And how do you like your fair young bride lying in your arms asleep?" "Very well do I like my pillow," says he. "Very well do I like my sheet. But better do I like that gay young lady standing at my bed feet." Well, once he kissed her cold lily-white hand, twice he kissed her cheek, 3 times he kissed her cold corpsey lips and fell in her arms asleep. Is little Margaret in her home, or is she in the hall? No, little Margaret's in her coal black coffin, with a pale face to the wall.
And this was sung down in Asheville, North Carolina?
Yeah, still is. Well, you know, even a lot of popular songs have got fragments of the old in them. I had an English teacher once. He came down to a nightclub where I was singing, and I don't think he'd ever been in one before. But he came down, he said, he says, that song On Top of Old Smoky, well, that's got verses in there that well, he said he called it Elizabethan, you know, like, grave will decay you and turn you to dust, not one boy in 100 a poor girl can trust. I guess a little verse like that might be a couple 100 years old. And so in many a song that you might not think, a popular song you hear on the radio, there are little fragments of the old mixed in with the new.
That one you sang, Lady Margaret, that has a lot of variations. That's called Fair Eleanor, isn't that one of them? And aren't there hundreds of variations?
No two people know them alike. Yeah. Now, Bill, I'm sure if he got together another blues singer, one would say, "Oh no, you're not singing that right," and another would say, and Bill would say, "No, you're singing it the Arkansas way. The real way is the Mississippi way." Isn't that right? You get two musicians together.
Yeah, it do happen a lot of times. Me and Muddy gets into those tangled up, and we both was born in the same state in Mississippi. His home is in Monroe, off of Monroe. Not Monroe, I meant to say off from Jackson, Mississippi. And our home is Scotts, Mississippi.
Bill, you know, we'd like to kill a myth once and for all. Sometimes you hear someone, I know you call him a tin ear, someone says, well, blues singers all sound the same. That is, the blues are all the same. Would you mind telling us about that?
Well, you take people that don't know, you know, it's a lot of things that I don't know. I'll say it's all the same when I hear it. It's all the same. It's the same as popular numbers. I don't know nothing about them, and they're all the same like somebody singing, you know. Because I've heard some that sound good and some sound bad. But I say that anybody, they use the word of separating songs or call them folk songs. While any song a man can sing is who's never singing it, he's still folks. So he's singing it.
Folks sing folk songs.
Yeah, sure. Any song that you feel like singing. I've sings a lot of popular ones. I know I don't do them I don't give them the right gestures, but it's a song. It's a song, and the folks, it was folks that wrote it or made it or sung it before I did, so I just sang it.
And you never sing a blues song the same way because you don't feel the same way this morning as you felt last night.
Well, no, it's no man. It's no real blues singer can do that. It's now, fellas, I do know some guys that can sing the blues the same way every time and never change. But he's got arrangement written. He got it on paper. Mm-hmm. And in fact, the business, he went to school to learn music. In fact, the business, he knows what he's going to do. But you take a blues singer, he walk out on the stage, a real one, he don't know what he's going to sing even.
In other words, you follow the feeling. Isn't that pretty much
when he hits his instrument or the instrument's hit whatever he's going to sing by, it gives him the feeling. Then the things come to him. Take a guy like Leroy Carr. He never wrote down a word he's going to sing and when he go to record. He just write down a title.
Leroy Carr, a friend of Bill Broonzy, is one of the great poets of the blues, wrote In the Evening When the Sun Goes Down.
In the evening when the sun go down, I sit there and watch him. He had 5 titles down on a piece of paper sitting up on the thing. And the man said, well, what is this here? He said, that's In the Evening When the Sun Go Down. He said, well, let's have that. No words wrote down.
Bill, you want to try In the Evening When the Sun Goes Down?
Yeah, what do you want me to play the whole thing or just part of it?
As much as you feel like. That's the blues.
Why you do all that before you start singing. That's to get the feeling of what you're going to sing. Because maybe you forget the voices as they go down the line, but you may have to come in with something else to fill while you forgot that one, you know, until you get back to it. In the evening, Mama sun go down. In the evening, darling, out of climb when the sun go down. Yeah, it's so lonesome, it's so lonesome. Out of climb when the one you love is not around, when the sun go down. Last night I was laying sleeping, not a cloud, was sleeping all by myself. Last night I was laying sleeping, darling, not a cloud, was sleeping all by myself. Yes, when the one that I really in love with, out of clouds, she was sleeping someplace else when the sun go down. Yeah, woo, woo, woo. Yeah, woo, woo, woo. Yes, it's so hard to love someone when they're sleeping someplace else when the sun go down. The sun rises in the east, and out of cloud it sets well in the west. Sun rises in the east, darling, and out of cloud it sets well in the west. Yes, it's so hard to tell. Out of cloud, which one that will treat you the best when the sun go down. Now goodbye, oh sweethearts and pals. Yes, out of cloud I'm going away. I may be back to see you again, little girl, some old rainy day. Yes, in the evening, out of cloud when the sun go down, when the sun go down.